Hoodwink, have you got the YouTube open just to make sure we're live?
Yes.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the MFL Ramble. Can people tell me that they can see us? We are live. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, for some reason, like OBS has changed recently. Like you put go live and then it sort of says, and then it puts you on like a temporary go live or something. I don't know what's going on. I need to play around with it later. But anyway, we're live finally. But we had a few tech issues. We've got a new guest on this week, and we managed to get it all sorted eventually anyway, so good that. So let's say hello to a few people. Afternoon from Root. Unfortunately, can't stay for this one. Probably 15, 20 minutes is heading out. What are you doing today? Going for a little booze cruise around the Med or whatever you are? You're on holiday still. Got Sid in the chat. Hola to you, Sid. How are you? Congratulations. Like that was an amazing match to watch, the Titans Cup final last night. Or you were 2-0 down, although you should have been crushing him, but 2-0 down, then had a goal disallowed, then came back and equalised, and then in the final minute got the winner. That was an incredible game to watch, but real like highlight of yesterday's cup finals for me, considering that I failed in the only one that I had. But so we've got Hoodwink in the chat, got Kev in the chat. Kev was in the chat. He was also in the car in the stream at one point while we were waiting for someone. We've got Dan in here. We've got Nathan. We've got Spice Weasel. Big games today. Yeah, there is a lot of big games for a lot of people, whether you're squeaky bum time looking for the playoffs, squeaky bum time for the title, or relegation. It's going to be a lot of fun this evening. And a real pity that Jimbo's not going to be streaming this evening. He's, still cleaning up the shit in his house after there was a blockage in his pipe. But I don't know what Jimbo's been eating, but to block the pipe so quickly after moving in, probably need to get a healthier diet, mate. But, just saying. Sid, rest in peace, Jimmy. Hoodwink, to be fair, did have happy retirement Timmy as the thing, but the text when that was in filled up half of his face on the screen. So I had to amend it to rest in peace. And Hoodwink was offended because he said he's not dying, he's just retiring. But and he could one day be a coach on one of Hoodwink's teams. Who knows?
It will be.
Yeah, exactly. Root saying afternoon tapas and booze. Lovely jubbly. I can't think of a better way to spend the day. Also we've got Ron John in the chat. Morning to you, Ron John. Ron John, how can we get some poetry and stuff like that on the Wendirk? All we get is a morning boys on here. Now I'll let you off this time, but in future, can't Ron John give us a little bit of a verse? But who else have we got in? Ricky Hyde. I always see Ricky Hyde and think Ricky Hatton, and in my mind he looks like Ricky Hatton. Not now, obviously, because Ricky Hatton's dead. But in the past. So I don't know whether you look like him, Ricky Hyde, but you are a guest that I would love to have on here at some point as well, because you're a smart chappy. I love speaking to smart chappies. And this week, we've got two smart chappies joining me. As always, we've got the blue-eyed Braveheart from Scotland, the man, the myth, the legend, the owner and agent of the god that is Timmy, who's retiring today. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Sad that Timmy's retiring, but what a career he's had and what a season he's had in Mexico.
What a career.
I think
you showed me the ratings for this season. It was like 5.1, 5.2, 5.4.
I think there are red scores, but as Amrezy says, it's his influence in the metaverse dressing room that just makes him the player that he is.
Nice.
So happy Timmy Day.
Happy Timmy Day, yeah. He'll be remembered, won't he? Will you remember him as the black guy with the eyes popping out of his head, or will you remember him as when he transitioned to white Timmy?
The crack addict big eyes are just, that's how I remember him. I hardly even know what he looks like now. Those big eyes are just in my dreams.
Yeah.
What a guy.
And our guest this week is the man named the Football Factory Group. Do you want me to call you that, or shall I call you Chris?
Chris would be fine.
Nice. And you are a chap that I met last summer and I apologise for MFL listeners that only play MFL, but we are going to be mentioning another game today from time to time. and that is Footium, because I met you at a Footium meetup, and you were like right into Footium, as you still are. All three of us play Footium, and it's definitely has a lot of positives. But we're here more to speak about MFL today, of course. And Kev eventually managed to get you to take a look at MFL, and you took on 3 teams, which we'll have a look at in a little bit. But what's your first impressions of the game?
I was impressed with the delegation idea. Kev said that that's only just come in this season, which gave me an opportunity to take that on and test it out and see how I get on with the game. So it's a good idea. I liked that when you get sent the offer for delegation, that it just comes into your inbox and it's all like very professional, like signing a real in life real club contract kind of thing. And it was quite impressive from that point of view. Definitely,
it is pretty slick, and that's one thing that I think MFL consistently do pretty well, is sort of like everything just sort of runs quite smoothly. I think, like, there are some criticisms of delegation this season, but they're mainly only that it's quite difficult to sort of like have if you have your own clubs, you can put anti-spoil on. So if you don't watch the matches live, then you can go in later on and watch the games as if they were live, so you don't have to see, know the score. Whereas obviously with delegated clubs, you automatically see the score when you click into their team, which I guess is a bit of a problem, and I've absolutely no doubt that MFL are working on a solution to that. But yeah, no, it's pretty slick, isn't it? But
yeah.
How have you found, like, on footy, and tactics aren't necessarily a big thing. There's obviously different formations, and like within the game, the live game, you can go more attacking, less attacking, more defensive and stuff like that. How have you found sort of having to sort of set up more detail within the actual like tactics and stuff like that?
I'm personally not really a master tactician, to be honest. I prefer playing these manager games, looking into player development and growth. That interests me a lot, but definitely not someone to tinker with tactics for too long. That's just the way that's how I've always played FM and Championship Manager previously as well. Not one to tinker with the tactics too much, just sort of get a system and then try and recruit players into that system, or try and play them within my system and let them develop in that position, normally. So
yeah, it is quite difficult.
Sometimes not a bad thing, because when you think you're a master tactician, you can overcomplicate it and really just screw your
and make things worse for yourself.
Aye. It can go one of 2 ways. So
yeah,
not always a bad thing.
Yeah. I've had that a few times this season where I've like tried to improve my 4-3-3 like defensive formation, and it's all gone tits up, and I've just had an absolute dreadful night. So yeah, you can definitely overcomplicate it, but no, it's quite good. But I guess from the progression element, the MFL works in a lot, differently, and a lot more sort of, RNG of when you sort of mint players. You don't know, like there could be an ultimate, like a player could go from 45 to 95 rated, or they could go from 45 to 46 rated. And I guess that sort of is quite engaging for a lot of people, and also quite hard for a few people as well. Like they want to know, like they want to be able to what they can do. And I guess that you would probably fall into the latter side of that. That's a bit more difficult for you.
I've always liked to know their max ceiling, but you wouldn't really know in real life if you was, an IRL manager. So it's nice to from both sides, But I think that you would end up with a lot of players that you don't know where their ceiling is, and then you'd have to try and sort of decide, right, if they're not developed by a certain age, then maybe move them on or loan them out and hope that they can develop.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
It is quite difficult from that point of view, and that's why you'll see like, you know, agencies with lots of like common players sort of gathering dust at the back of the, you know, the bottom of their agency. And I think that's why like MFL are looking to introduce like a burn mechanism where you can burn players that sort of don't sort of, you know, haven't met the expectation that you need or aren't filling the sort of void, and therefore you get some MFL back and you can use that to buy another pack and have another crack. But
they have got some strategies within developing players as well. I mean, I've only delved into the loan market so far, but I had a few managers on Discord asking what league I'm, what level I'm in, what division I'm in, and it seems that they want to look at the squad that you've got and decide if their player will develop in your squad on loan, which is a good thing as well. So, you know, it brings a lot of element of strategy into what other players are in the squad as to whether that player is going to develop well in that environment as well.
Yeah, like, because when you take a put, like I remember when I joined, I'm sure like a lot of people I fired out like you know, loan offers for legendary players and stuff like that for my ICE team, and obviously they were rejected. But
yeah,
you like as a manager, you want the best players on your team. As an agent of those players, you want them in the place where they're most likely to develop and is likely to return you the most MFL. So there's always that sort of trade-off. But yeah, that's quite good. But right, before we move on, anyway, say hello to a few more people in the chat. So we've got Bob Flynn. Hello, sir. How are you? I hope the family is okay. I had like, there's a few health issues, but good luck with all of that. We've got Lib23 in the chat. Mr. Wobbles, aka Josh Tilley. Afternoon to you, sir. Jimbo telling us all about his blockage. Thank you very much. Big Mr. K's in the chat. Slippery Fish is in there as well. But yeah, so like, I guess today let's talk about like the end of the season. Like there's and disappointingly, because Jimbo's obviously got some issues at the moment, we're not going to have a live stream this evening. I did debate about potentially doing one myself, which I'm not 100% opposed against, but I'll have a think about it this afternoon. Maybe drop in and screen some live games, because it's always fun, that final day drama. But also on the flip side, I quite like watching nervously my own games in a quiet room with no one there. But I'll have a think about it, see if there's any thoughts on whether people would like to do that. But yeah, let's have a look at like the final day. Hoodwink, should we start with you? Right.
I won a couple of titles, which is unusual.
I cannot wait for the global search thing, but it's going to make my life a lot easier. Let's bring up your clubs. Yes. Let's go through all of them. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, for fuck's sake. Open link in new tab. Open link in new tab. Open link in new tab.
They also have another team, delegation team that finished second. So,
who is that from?
It was Big Mr. K's team, but it's now Dan W.
Oh, of course, yeah, it got sold from beneath you, didn't it, mid-season?
But we still, I finished second, so that was all right, and had a good wee cup run. I think got to the group stage, then lost the next one, I think, but. Done all right with them.
Right, let's start at the bottom then with is it Bracara
Augusta.
So like they are second now. Is that the club that Root helped you with?
No, they wouldn't be second. We can get to them in a minute. Root can take the blame for the disaster.
Hopefully, Root's now gone off for his tapas and beers, and he's not listening to the slander. But
last week, when you asked, was I happy? I was happy, but this week we've been relegated. now I'm throwing them under the bus. Did not work. We tried.
So
But
what was
this
the
team,
expectation for Bakara then? Are they're currently in second? Obviously, they can win the title. You're playing TTP Turkey, so hopefully 3 points in the bag.
but they play Dollar Club, I think, is it? Aye, they play Dollar Club, so
Yeah,
assuming we'll both win and just second place playoff. So
that's a
that's
ball,
pretty decent.
yeah. So hopefully you win. But are you going to rest any guys for the final for the playoffs?
I think they're good fitness actually. Aye, because my last game I won 7-0. I think, in fact, my last couple of games have been pretty easy. So I think they're well rested. I probably will rotate a bit.
Yeah.
I can't got my donkeys in, and that's my 4-3-3 as well.
Nice.
So we've done all right with that.
Yeah, I think the 4-3-3. A lot of people worked out how to play it. Sort of like, well, not a lot of people, but certainly some people worked out how to play it sort of later in the season. I wish I'd learned how to play it earlier on in the season, but anyway.
So a good striker. If you go to the squad, I think is it Heinrich they've got.
You've got Igal, Amin, and Deviva.
Right. Must be a different squad. Heinrich's in the other one.
Yeah. So that's a decent showing from them anyway.
They've scored a lot of goals between them. And that's quite a fun squad. I've quite enjoyed doing the 4-3-3 with them. And quite a few youngsters in that as well. But a good result for them, second place. That's something.
Decent. Right, moving on to the next team, Santiago Andes. So they are scroll in the relegation zone. Oh, they've been relegated.
Oh, we're gone. I just couldn't do anything. I think mid-season, I got a few players in. We tried the new tactics. I think I won 2 games maybe.
You gave Root 5% to get you relegated.
I thought because he spent time on it, so I thought I'll give him a wee 5%. Why not? But I don't know. It's like because it's one of the lower ones. I didn't spend a lot of time it got to when I was doing my squad building. That's my final 4-1-2-1-2. So it was kind of that was the 4-3-3. So that was like trying to just fit in a tactic, try to fit in a formation, try to fit in players, and it just didn't work. It was rubbish. And then I tried the 4-1-3-2, didn't work. I probably should have checked if I could have worked at the 4-1-2-1-2, but dead anyway.
So essentially, Bakara and Santiago Andes are switching places.
Aye.
That's not a bad thing, is it? Because it gives you a bit of utility to some of the lower cards.
Aye, and I might see about potentially delegating it next season, maybe. I noticed I had a referral, Daniel from Sorare. I know I was for some reason I looked at my referrals last night, and he must have clicked my link back in February at some point. So I might see if he's actually wanting a wee go and maybe delegate one.
I don't think I've had any for him.
They're useless. They were just the whole season. Did get some good progression for them, but
nice. So moving on to Casa Tucumán. They are mid-table, but they can still make the playoffs.
I think Peterborough have got an easy game. If I got a good win tonight, could go third, but I'm sure Peterborough have got quite an easy. I think they maybe play bottom of the league actually. So I mean, you never know. But they're a funny team because they've just been so inconsistent. It's just like we were in the promotion race most of the season, and then second half of the season kicked in, and we just shat the bed a bit. Just pretty poor form. As you get 1-7, drawn 7, lost 5, so it's really just, I suppose that's mid-table form really. Even though it's only it was quite tight. It was like just a few points for like most of the season between like first and maybe like 4th, 5th, 6th. But I've got my star striker up there, my big Polish man. He's a star. Scores free kicks, which is always fun.
Nice. He's had a bit of progression, hasn't he? Started as 68, now up to 76.
Aye, he's good.
Bit of an OAP, but
Aye.
Well, not
Always scored goals as well. I think that's like not just looking at attributes, actually seeing if, like someone that scores, 15 goals every season is quite important. They're actually worthwhile sort of playing and keeping.
Yeah,
Just
so that's like
issue for
another
most
nod to hidden stats, isn't it? Because like sometimes you have a striker and he's got like really high shooting and he should do well, and you put him in the perfect environment and he just doesn't score that many goals. Other times you have a guy that's slightly lower rated, but they'll just smash the goals in.
Aye, it's like a guy that I've got in my delegated team in Spark or whatever it is. I think he's like 64 rated. He's like maybe 65 rated striker, and he's like my highest rated striker. And I think he's scored about 4 goals all season, and I'm second in the league. So I think some players are just crap, no matter what. Like they just should retire, like Timmy.
Poor
But
Tim.
they're all right. I think I've screwed up the promotion race though, sadly.
Fair enough. Moving on to Atlanta Phoenix. You got quite a few ice clubs this season, haven't you?
I bought a couple of seasons back. I think I bought maybe 3 extra ones, the lower ones. But they won the league. They smashed the league actually. So we title in the bag, and I can just have some fun with them now the night. Just get some of the ones that haven't get the retirement boys, give them their final game. Then folk that just haven't played as much. That Levod guy, he's like, I was so gutted when I bought him. I was like, I got him for like 20 quid, and I know like Andy officials had him, and then Mini Me I bought him for, and he's like, I always remember playing him. See, a year ago or whatever, and I always remember his name coming. He'd score like 30 goals a season, and I just hate because he was always in my league. And then when the opportunity came up to buy him, I was like, right, I'll take the risk on retirement. And then like a few days later, retirement logo came in. I was like, shit.
Yeah, that's always the ball ache, isn't it? When you sort of like buy a player at this time of the season. Like I've bought quite a few recently, and I know 100% I'm going to get absolutely murdered when the tombstones appear next Monday. But yeah.
So it shows that he's played 3 games, but that's because he was with Daegu, I think. And then because Daegu were in the promotion race, I swapped, I think, Man, he's like an orange or a yellow retirement, because I needed someone to play a lot more games for Daegu and rotate. And Atlanta I knew was winning the league. So although he's only shown 3 games, he's played like loads more this season, but only 3 for Atlanta. So
yeah.
He'll play tonight.
Pretty decent anyway. But yeah, decent season for them. So already with your retirements for a Stone team next season. And Livingston Village, moving on to them, absolutely smashed it.
Aye, and
lost
the cup final to Kev, sadly, but
that's no disgrace, though, is it?
Nah, I was a bit gutted. Actually, I was feeling confident because they've been so good this season. I was feeling confident, but it's Kev in it. So, but they're like probably my favourite team to have used. Like obviously because I've won the league and like got to a cup final. It sounds obvious, but like they're the team that every single game that I play, I just think, right, we can win this one, no matter. Like that team in second is like a better team, but I think Big Mr. K absolutely pumped them, and their head was gone. They've not been very good. They lost another game after that as well, so they got pumped like 7-1, I think, because they got a centre back sent off at a 3 at the back. And then I just managed to run away with it, luckily.
It'd be nice to have them in Iron though next season, wouldn't it?
It's a bit scary because I didn't really have the players for it. So,
but you didn't loan in anybody this season, did you?
Nah, I loaned in a couple for you actually, just so I could get a change of formation in the lower ones. But like my top 4, maybe 5 teams, I've got zero loans.
I've got about 30 new players joining. Actually, it'd be more than that. With all the new signings, it's about 40 players. So there's potential that I might have some rares for you next season to help out. But
I think I'll get a couple of rare packs as well, because I've got like probably over 120k in MFL, which is like my highest ever by a mile. So I'll probably I know last time I was thinking of I think if it was this time last season, I'd probably rip like 12 uncommon packs, but I think I'll go 2 rares and try and just keep being competitive a wee bit.
You
up
never know.
top.
Get an 84 rated player that becomes legendary as soon as training kicks in next season.
And I've got a guy called Powell. He might actually be in that team, or maybe he's with Daegu. Guy called Powell that I packed a few seasons ago, and I think he was like maybe a 76 or 77 rated guy, and he's now, I think he's a CDM. I think he's 79 rated now. Oh no, he's 80 rated. Sorry, 80 rated CDM, the Englishman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the luscious locks.
Aye, the beautiful Mr. Powell. So even someone like that, and he's young, like really good stats across the board, and he's progressed well. So someone like that again would be brilliant. Maybe a striker.
Yeah, they're useful, aren't they?
Need a bagsman.
Nice.
Um,
So what about Daegu then? Daegu, obviously. Oh no, for fuck's sake! I thought Monkey Thunder were all going to get relegated. I thought we got them in the relegation zone, but they're not.
So this will go right to the wire. Basically, I play the team above me, and I just need a point because Eindhoven Dogs. Well, Eindhoven, I think they play. Do they play a mid-table team maybe? So I just need a point basically to get third.
He's locked in though, isn't he? Like this guy, he's locked into second, so he should rest guys for the playoffs.
That's what I'm hoping. But again, like I wasn't expecting them to get promoted or anything. So even just a couple of games, I want to get the playoffs anyway, and then I'd love to get promoted. But it'd be very very tough, I think. And then I'd probably struggle next season as well. But you always want to get promoted.
No, not
so
me.
Have you got a chance of getting relegated? Maybe.
I thought I was in like that 9th spot, and I thought perfect. I can sort of go in that, and then I can run the backups for the playoff game, and then get them relegated. Because I've got too many teams now at the top, but it's becoming a problem. But I need to have a look.
Good for progression. It's tough when you're doing there, eh? That's the thing.
Yeah, I'll have a look at my teams in a minute anyway. But yeah, so decent season for Daegu.
Aye, really good. Having fun with him.
That's for like Daegu. Normally, you're underachieving team as well, aren't they? But they get into the out of the cup groups as well.
Aye,
quarterfinals.
It's a great season.
Nice.
Surprising.
Edinburgh Castle, the team, like you gave it a shot. You got promoted to silver with an underpowered team. Probably one of the most incredible achievements ever on MFL, getting promoted to silver with the team you had last season. And you gave it a fair crack, didn't you?
Aye, and I never got embarrassed. Like some of the games, and I've had some great wins. Like I feel bad beating Risu now that I see that he's needing a win for the last game. Like some of my wins have been really good. I'd say some. I've had 3 and 4 draws. Have been quite tough to beat some games. Had some fun, like high scoring games in the recent weeks. But I knew it was happening. I would have just loved to know be bottom. I think I'd probably do the same again with the 0 loans and just see how I got on. But because I didn't think I would have made up the rev share that I would have given out by finishing too much higher. Because I'd need to have brought in so many like Legos to compete with other teams there. So
and 2 of your best players retiring in that team as well is heartbreaking.
It's so bad. Like especially that, like my left mid, I've got I mean he's nowhere near the quality, but my other left mid that I've got is brilliant. He actually performs better than Norgren, I think.
Who's Sim?
That's the one. Aye, like he gets quite a few assists, I think. So he plays pretty well. He's old as well. Fuck, he'll be my next one getting the. In fact, half this team could retire. Almost all this team could retire pretty soon.
It is heartbreaking, isn't it? That's why getting packs and rewards like to refresh them has definitely helped my agency, like bringing the average age down. But
I kind of wish I'd done that now recently, but I don't know. It's just
Hoodwink in that situation where you went to silver with underpowered squad for silver. Did you find, in terms of progression of the players within that squad, you got more progression for being in silver for a season or not?
Probably. Like Alan Santos was like my best guy. He's progressed. And I'm sure like without being able to see XP, I'm sure I've got more even finishing bottom. But
Well, you
progression's all right.
definitely would get maximum match XP for those players. You wouldn't get any penalties and training XP like most of them. The trouble is that a lot of them are very old. So like when players go into their 30s, like the amount of XP they get actually reduces. So it's more difficult to get progression when they go into their 30s. But,
the main thing was like building up the MFL so I can get packs. And I think that's why I think it was probably the right thing to do and just going for it, because I think, I don't know, what's it, like 40 odd K I get for finishing bottom, which is like almost a rare player. So
you don't get any extra MFL for being in the playoffs, do you? Or do you?
No, you'd get extra XP.
Yeah, that's
or
true.
oh, sorry, like the relegation playoffs. Like if it
No, I was talking about the promotion playoffs.
no, you don't get any extra like MFL for being in the playoffs.
But I think last season when I won the league in bronze, last season when I won bronze, I got a wee bit more, maybe like 6K or something more than finishing bottom silver. But I wouldn't have backed myself to win bronze again this season anyway. So it's a wee bit more if I finished top of the league below than finishing there. But the XP would be higher, I'd imagine, in the silver. And
you're playing Flamingo tonight, so you can actually do Risu a favour tonight. If you beat Flamingo, no pressure, and
I'll try my best.
And he gets into the playoffs.
Love Risu to do well to get that third position, so I'll try. I'll not put my donkeys in.
Yeah. But decent season anyway, Hoodwink. Like I think that we fully expected you to get relegated to Edinburgh Castle, but you, as you said, you've put up a solid fight, giving it a crack.
Aye, it's fun, and like every game, as I say, every game we didn't get embarrassed in like any game really. We always kind of put up a good battle. Drew, we worked the space twice, which is an achievement, I suppose. Like just for small wins anyway. But I overall, I think a really, really good season with the 2 titles, potential for other promotions, but the relegation for the Santiago team's a bit shit, to be honest. But I've got another manager to blame for that, so thanks for it. I'm kidding.
Sid's asked you a question, Hoodwink. He said, "Will you be more open to loan deals next season?"
Like I'm not totally against him. Like mid-season, I put out a couple of offers to, but it's just low percentage. I'm just so stingy. But I think the problem is with my retirements. Like 2 of my big players are retiring now, so I'm basically just rares than Alan Santos. So maybe I just didn't want to give up that much MFL. Like I just didn't think it's worth it for my agency anyway. I just didn't feel like it's too beneficial just now.
I mean, I heard you say before on previous episodes of the Ramble, you I think you got into silver that year and you gave up 25% rev share to get relegated anyway. So in that situation, you just feel like it's a waste of rev share, right?
Aye, that was 10K or something. Like it's a lot of MFL for like I've not got like a massive agency or like anything like that. So like to get up that amount and still finish bottom was just aye. And I think that's probably what would have happened again. Although like I performed better. I performed better the first time in terms of results, but I feel like my games are tighter. Maybe it would have made a difference because maybe some of the tight games where it was like 3-2s and stuff like that, maybe a star striker might have helped. I don't know, but aye, it's a lot to give up just to be a bit more competitive, but still finish the same place, maybe.
So to answer Sid's question, then yes, but at really, really low rates.
0.5% for your Legos.
But
I would like. I'm not totally against him. Like I think 2 seasons ago, last season, I thought it was set up well for like a mid-table to a promotion push in bronze, and then I won it. So I wasn't really thinking like I want to win it, so I'm going to get players in. Last season, I knew I was going to be 12th, so I just knew it anyway. Sorry, this season. So maybe when my Legos retiring, maybe when I look at it and think, right, that's no strong enough, but actually I'd like to compete again for like a top half finish, for example, if I didn't think it's quite, because like I see some of the teams that other people have in bronze, and they're scary teams, and some of them, like when they've done the tactics corner, and like they're saying like some of the teams that in bronze, and they've got like 9 or 10 Legos, and they're that's just not strong enough, and they're like, we don't know, you're destined for relegation and stuff like that. I'm like, that's like so much better than my team. So when I go back to bronze, maybe I'll need to, because maybe it's just maybe it's sensible to give up a bit more than I do.
yeah.
So the answer is probably yes. I'm more open to it.
Yeah.
This season seemed pointless. So
let's move on to Football Factory Group. To answer a question that Big Mr. K had, does FFG have an agency I can look at? Yeah, we will click on his agency now. He joined mid-season, so he literally has no players, no clubs, nothing at the moment. However, we will go on and look at the teams that he took on. It was mid-season, wasn't it, Chris?
Yes, yeah. Mid-season this season is the first time I've given MFL a go, and I've been delegated 3 clubs in mid-season.
Let's go through those then. Which one do you want to start with? Should we?
I got Lagos Laughing Lobsters.
So when you took them over, where were they sitting in the table? Can you remember?
No, not as such. I can tell you the results I got since I took them over, but I don't know where they was in the table at that point, to be honest. Sort of relatively about the same as to where they are now. All I've done is brought in the 3 loans in that window. I've found that bringing in loans has given me the option to play, like a 4-4-2 or a 4-1-4-1 or a 4-4-1-1. It's just given me a couple of extra positions. So then, rather than exactly the same formation, I can change it slightly to rotate players. So if I need to rest a striker, I can play one up top.
And you said earlier on in the show that you tend to stick with sort of similar tactics. So do you, like, when you're putting the formations in, do you put the formations in based on the fitness of the players just to rotate?
Yes.
Or more on what the opposition is playing?
Yeah, because I think so far, I think it's more important to not play exactly the same formation every game, because I think that other managers do look at your previous games and probably say, oh, he always plays that exact same formation. I know what he's likely to line out. So if you have some variation, I think then it makes it a little bit more of a guessing game for the opposing manager to line up against you, So that's probably another reason for that, and to be able to rotate as well.
So have a quick look.
But yeah, at the moment they are in ice and they're 4th, and I'm a point off of 3rd place.
Ice League 9. I see
so-
where you were predicted at the start of the season. But some
Uh,
the problem is some ice leagues, like you get are really tough, and then you get other ones that are a lot easier.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, at the moment they're predicted fourth with the loans I brought in. So, you know,
yeah,
pretty
fourth.
much on their projections, really.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much on that. And how have you found? Like, have you got any sort of favourite players within the squad at the moment, or?
No, not really, not as such.
Takes a bit of time to sort of like seasons to build up a bit of love for like the players.
And at the moment, they're all loan players. Like, never fall in love with a loan player, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, big Mr. K saying like, I guess I was going to ask you this at the end, but I'll ask you now. Like, do you want to continue in MFL next season? Like from the start of the season is very different.
Continue, yeah, definitely. I like that you don't necessarily have to be there for the games as well. That's quite a good thing. You can just put the lineup in, and if you're busy and you can't get on when the game's on, it's not a problem because it's already like pre-simulated at that point of kickoff anyway. So,
yeah, the 5 minutes before the game starts is when they
yeah.
sort of like, it locks then the formation, and then it runs the game, and then it sort of shows you the visualization of it.
Yeah,
It works for a lot of people. Like I know that like Footium's USP is that it's got a live match engine, and that's great. That's great, and I do love that part. But I do feel like when the seasons are running, I feel like strangled around those times. Like I have to be online, otherwise I'm potentially going to give away a bit of sort of advantage. But,
well, yeah, it's just making the subs, isn't it? Really, again, staying on top of condition. I found condition so far a little bit of a puzzle. I don't know what you think, but I find that if I don't have a game on a day, my condition of my players doesn't change.
Yeah, it only like the condition only improves when they don't play a match.
Yes, yeah.
Very different to Footium, where like it's like the improvement just happens over time naturally.
Yeah. So I don't know if I agree with that. I think that if you've not got a game one day, then your players should regenerate a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it would be more realistic like that, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So the Laughing Lobsters are on par. They've done what they set out to do this season.
Yeah.
What about Venomous Valencia?
They was projected, I believe, about fourth when I took them over. I brought in some good loans. I found that the owner of the team didn't say that I could use any rev share for loans, so I managed to bring in some loans on 0%, but with a promise of 7 games or 8 games, and I've managed to fulfill that quota to be able to give them enough games in half a season to make them 0%. So I've not spent any of the owners' rev share without permission, kind of thing. And they are 5th at the moment, obviously with 1 game to go tonight. But it's tight. It's still possible I could finish 3rd, but with the loans I brought in, as I say, I did get them up to projected of 1st. So, I'm performing a bit, but they was quite a long way off of certainly off of top place in that league when I took them over anyway. So,
I mean, you've had a decent run the last few games. You had a couple of draws and then mostly wins, so you can't really ask for more than that, can you?
Yeah, it's annoying because I've got a 0-0 with Magana, yeah, and that was kind of a must-win game, really.
Yeah. If you'd won that one, like you would have been close to the playoffs. I mean, you could still, in theory, could make the playoffs, but yeah, it's
I could, but I need other results to go my way and a 2-goal swing as well. So, and obviously a win for myself. So it's tight to get in the playoffs there, but we'll see.
Yeah, but you've done okay with that team, yeah. I mean, obviously, lost at the start, one of them being in the cup. But yeah, recently the form's been decent.
Yeah, I got into the quarterfinals in the cup with that team as well, so
Yeah,
wasn't too bad.
It's always nice, like the cup run, because the cup run, obviously, you get automatically added to but it's just additional MFL that gets.
Yeah, definitely.
Try and prioritize the cup. Like other people, like try and concentrate on the league if they want to get a team promoted. For me, it's all about the cups.
Is that all distributed at the end of the season as well?
It's all everything is distributed this Thursday, so the day after the normal season ends, before the playoffs.
Okay.
So this Thursday, we're about to rip reward packs open and stuff like that. Big Mr. K says he was going to surprise you with sending a couple of players to your Dapper wallet. So you had a few players in your agency, but apparently it's not active.
So, it's not active?
Yeah. I don't know what that means. I'm not particularly crypto bro. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have a look into that.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have
a legend like Mr. K. What a guy.
maybe he can let me know what I'm doing wrong or something.
Yeah, Big Mr. K, he's a young lad. He knows all his stuff. But
he's welcome to give me a DM on Discord.
Yeah, fire him a DM. But,
yeah.
For people that don't know, that like he may look like the youngest man on this show, and he probably is the youngest man on this show. But you became a granddad, didn't you? When was it? Towards the end of last year?
Yeah.
How's your daughter now, and how's the grandchild?
Yeah, they're both well. Yeah, doing well.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love seeing that when you sent me a little photo of the baby and stuff like that. It was so cute. But yeah,
he's a good baby as well. It's quite well behaved. So yeah, it seems really good.
Youngest granddad that I know.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the final team then. So where are we? La Montreal. So this was Big Wilbert's team. We were speaking about yesterday evening. We thought you'd done quite well with it. Big Wilbert wasn't giving anything away. So he's done all right. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think Big Wilbert's got a lot of teams anyway, right? So
yeah.
But he said that I could spend up to 15% on loans in the close season. I managed to bring in 3 players. One of them was Kev's, but only a backup keeper. Because I think the one I had was quite low, 64 or something like that, and I managed to bring in a 70 off of Kev on a free loan. And then I brought in 2 more players for 3% and 6%.
Yeah.
So, spent under the quota, and hopefully I should finish. I mean, if I win tonight, I'm in the playoffs. So
yeah, and you're playing the bottom team as well.
I'm already third. Yes. So yeah, I've with that in mind, I don't know if Burnley Lions owner is on or listening, but I'm kind of. I know you shouldn't have a banker, but hopefully I can still get a win and have some rested players for the playoffs, hopefully.
Yeah, that's always the trouble, isn't it? Especially like when you're in a sort of a battle for the playoffs, you want to play your best guys to get you in there. But if you play your best guys, then you might need to rest them.
Yeah, and as I understand it, finishing third, I'm going to have one more game to play if I do get to, the playoff final.
Yeah, it is a bit of a struggle, but it's all a bit of fun, isn't it?
Just send me a friend request.
But yeah, no, it was a bit of fun. But yeah. So like what have you found like difficult to get your head around with regards to like matches and stuff like that? Is there anything that's been a bit more sort of puzzling?
Sorry, say again.
Is there anything like with regards to like the matches and setting up teams which you found a bit funny or a bit more puzzling or anything like that?
Not really. Pretty familiar with it all. In general, I mean, again, probably years of playing FM. Kind of found my way around quite quickly. I got a question for you. Do you think that the attributes are hidden in terms of potential or of the players?
Well, I mean, there's two. Like, if you read the white paper, there's two hidden stats. There's prime age, which is where they reach. I can't remember, is it 80% or 90% of their potential, and their highest potential. If they like meet all of the XP, like if they get perfect XP, they would reach this level.
Yeah.
Those two are hidden, but there's a lot of like tinfoil hat theories around that there are more hidden statistics within the game. But MFL have always categorically said there isn't. But sometimes it really feels like there is. Like they put in the white paper, like in they updated it about a week ago, and they announced it, I think, yesterday. And there was a few things in there, but one of the things I noticed was like players have a preferred foot, but there's nothing in the system, like nothing on the player attributes to say which is their preferred foot. Like it says they can be left foot and right footed or both feet. So I don't know whether that's just on you to try and work it out, or whether that's something that's like is another hidden statistic. And if it is hidden, maybe there's more hidden statistics. So we just don't know, really.
No. And there's always some managers that like to play a left footer on the right wing and a right footer on the left wing. But I'm definitely someone that I think a left footer should be on the left wing and a right footer should be on the right wing. But
I think this season, definitely, crosses have been like a lot more OP this season. Like historically, crosses like didn't really come to much. Either the keeper got them or they just like nothing happened. And this season, obviously, crosses have become like a lot more effective. So I think, probably having a left footer on the left wing and a right footer on the right wing has probably been maybe a little bit more beneficial this season. But yeah. Just having a quick look. Have you worked out how much MFL you're going to be getting from this?
Me? No, not. Probably around about 3K, something like that. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but
I was going to put it because it's slightly you can work it out.
When it started, I didn't even negotiate on delegation. I just sort of, got my foot in the door in closed season. So.
Yeah, I think with delegation, it is a good way for people to sort of test it that sort of, haven't played before. Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And like I say, I think the idea of it is really good. And, it's like you get a proper job offer in your inbox and like a little contract. It's good. Definitely.
Nice. Right. I'll quickly run through my teams and we can continue the chit chat. Where are we? So I had all of these teams this season. Most, I guess, probably all of the teams down here I don't really care about. And the Monkey Matadors, the Kings, the Fire, the Magic are the main ones that I was following this season. Monkey Maharaja, I wanted them to stay in Flint this season, mainly because I'm debating whether to do the Staff League thing next season. So I needed a Flint club. I think this was, Scrub put a team together. Well, that's managed by someone else, but they had a team and it was pretty much full of like uncommon players. So they did me a favor, really. So the perfect finishing position would be second. I don't know whether I'll get it. I've got a tough game this evening, and then I can sort of gracefully bow out in the playoffs because it's not a particularly strong team. Well, I think I've had a bit of progression, and I did put an uncommon on there mid-season. This guy, he's a centre forward. He's a bit lower as a striker, which is where I've been playing him. So I've had a bit of progression on these players, but the mostly limited guys in the team. So, it's been a fun little dalliance, but I really don't pay too much attention to it. Monkey Donners, I quite like to get them promoted just because I love the logo. So I have got them promoted this season. They're going up to ice. I don't know whether I'll have to have a think about how I structure my sort of teams next season and which ones are going to be the priority, probably after rollover when I sort of work out where players are going to go, because it's going to be a bit of a head fuck trying to work out everything. Monkey Nongdan, they are sort of a testing club as well. I've been testing formations for them, often not going particularly well, but definitely don't want them to get promoted, although they're still in with a chance of the playoffs, although I'm playing a team, one of the teams above me. This is Hamiz's team, who did beat me once, and then I beat them in the reverse fixture. I can't remember whether he wants to get promoted. We were speaking about it the other day, but I definitely don't want to get them promoted. So I'd have to be a massive goal swing to win it. So I'll try and win the last game and then have a little dalliance in the playoffs and hopefully not get promoted. Monkey Maoris, they were sort of a stronger ice team that I built, so it was going to be tough not to get them promoted. But I'm happy to get another team in Stone for my agency. I've got a lot of guys in a lot of rares now, so I'm happy to sort of like run Stone side. So yeah, they did okay, but they were a little bit overpowered, so not particularly satisfying. I took on Dan's team mid-season, or maybe a little bit before mid-season. I can't quite remember. Yeah, it was before mid-season, actually, yeah, because I've got a couple of loans in. His Cheltenham side, I think they were either third or fourth when I took them over, so I haven't really done much with the league position, but we did have a little cup run. They got knocked out in the semi-finals eventually, so that was quite fun. But it's been quite tough. I did speak about it last night. I think the amount of effort I put into sort of managing a team that I've taken on from somebody else, I'd probably rather do it in the higher up division, just because when you take on a club from someone else, you don't want to let them down. So you tend to put in a bit more time, and you don't know the players. Like the rest of my agency, I know, which players go where and everything. So it's a lot more difficult taking them on. So I'd probably only do it at a higher up level. Unless somebody was desperate to sort of loan a club out, and then I'd always be happy to help. The Berbers, I ideally want them staying in Stone, but if they could have a playoff run, that would be great, and that's pretty much where they are. I guess they're reasonable. Yeah, they're an okay sort of Stone side, not particularly overpowered, but I don't think any of my teams were predicted first, apart from a couple of the lower divisions. So yeah, anywhere around the playoffs has been sort of the ideal finishing spot for some of these teams. Monkey Vikings were predicted like 8th, I think, or something like that. They're currently in 2nd, which is fairly mental. I don't know, like they're an iron side, but I don't think they've got a few over 80s players. But yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle with them. I think maybe we've had a bit of progression with them because some of them have come on, but yeah, I don't know. God knows. If they get promoted to bronze, I'll probably have to run a similar strength team in bronze next season, which will probably get relegated. But, it's a bit of fun, isn't it, getting promoted? But Monkey Thunder, I definitely wanted to try. This was a team, the lowest of the iron teams that I built. Now, they were predicted to go down, and I thought they were in the relegation zone, but I won the bloody last 2 games. That's annoying. If they stay up, they stay up. Bit of extra MFL. Monkey Matadors, I did want them to go up. I'd built a team capable of going up, and we are currently first playing Vendettas, which I believe is one of Big Wilbert's teams. It is, I don't know whether he's managing it though, but so what do we need? 1 point tonight, really, probably to guarantee it. I'll probably regret getting them promoted as well, but it's been a fun see. It's difficult, isn't it? As you were saying, Hoodwink, if you have a team in the league, it's difficult to want to throw games or lose games. But with Monkey Kings, they are next up. They were a decent team, but not my strongest bronze team. That was Monkey Fire, and I did remove a couple of players from their team to strengthen Monkey Fire. So I'd be happy. I'd love to have them to have got into the playoffs, but they didn't. Just couldn't string results together, and unfortunately, I think we could still finish 4th. We're playing San Francisco Aces, so they're locked into playoffs, so they might rotate. So yeah, I might be able to squeeze up one more position. Bit of extra MFL there. Monkey Fire was a team that I did want to get promoted, and we've been doing our best to throw it away after the last few games. So we're now equal on points with the Aces here. Who have we got tonight? Mighty Chinchillas. So a relatively easy game. Who's he got? Let's have a look. Moonbat. So yeah, about the same. Maybe a little bit harder. I think they're okay. So yeah, I'll try and do my best to win tonight. But although we are locked in, that's bloody annoying. So I'm locked into second, the lowest. I'll have to have a think about what I do with those. I guess.
Do you find, generally speaking, that all your teams? I mean, this question could be to both of you. Do you find generally that your teams normally hit on or around about their predictions, or is there, quite wild swings, or does it kind of average out over the season? You get a couple of results, didn't expect to win that, or you get a couple where you didn't expect to lose, but it kind of averages out about your predictions. Do you find, or is it wild?
No, not really. Gosh,
No.
it's really just started to piss it down outside, like hail coming down. But yeah, so it really depends how much work you put into tactics and stuff like that. Like, unless you've built a really OP team, and you see regularly in like higher divisions that OP teams like underperform, like the Vikings League. Like, I had a quick look yesterday. Bloody hell, it's like the size of golf balls coming down. Yeah, I had a look yesterday in the Vikings League. Like, all the teams that were predicted first, second, and third are actually really towards the bottom of the table, and like all the teams like mine that were predicted lower in the table are actually higher up. And often that's down to, more effort on tactics and stuff like that. Like looking at the opponents, how they play. If they play with a high line, then maybe going direct is a good idea. Or it can be that certain formations each season are a little bit more OP. Like this season, having wide mids in a formation generally has been a little bit more OP than having wingers, and all of my teams have wingers. So yeah, it really comes down to a lot of different factors. Like Hoodwink, you overperform, don't you, with like a few of your teams?
Aye, and underperform with a few as well, to be fair. I was going to try and find my ones that I've had this season, but I can't remember.
Between the teams that overperform and the teams that underperform, more often than not,
blocks of ice. Unbelievable.
Do you find that that's because it's different tactics or formations, or?
I think tactics and squad building probably. Like I know my team that got relegated, the squad build, there was zero effort put in. It was just going down a list, right? These ones are going to this one, then these are lower quality, so they're going here. And then when I tried to bring in wingers, I spent like $2 on like wingers with 70 pace and stuff like that, without thinking like, you know what, this might not work. It was just, I just wanted to try. I've only done 4-3-3 with two teams from last season. I've never done it before. I've played since like almost 2 years now, and I've never played 4-3-3. So it was kind of I just wanted to have some fun trial in it, and then spent like £7 or something to test it. And so the squad building was just shit, basically. What I should have done is been like, right, what do I actually need for this formation to work? Do I have the players for it? And if I didn't, maybe no buy £2 guys that are slow as shit and just think, you know what, I'll make it work, because it's a new formation and new tactics for me. So between that and the squad building, it just didn't work. But like when Edinburgh overperform, like my squad building for Edinburgh, it's pretty much the same team most seasons, unless like I've had a bit of progression and someone can move up, or now guys retiring. But when I built that squad, I had really, really specific stuff that I was looking for, and like my two strikers have been the same for a few seasons because I spent like quite a bit of money on them. This is back in the Disney dollars days. I spent a bit of money on them because they had exactly what I needed. And every season for like the last 5 seasons or something like that, they're like my perfect strike force. My CDMs are exactly what I need. My right winger and left and right mid is specific to like stats that I wanted and that kind of thing. So like I spent like proper effort and proper money as well. It was Disney dollars, so it was almost free, but like actually scouted them and specific stuff that I want my tactics to work, and these players will make that tactic work. And I've overperformed with Edinburgh over the seasons, and like when I didn't put the effort in, it's so noticeable. Like when with Daegu for a couple of seasons, I did put the effort in, but I think because of my squad build, and again that was like my second or third team at the time, probably my second team, I didn't put in any I didn't scout new players for that. I scouted new players for Edinburgh and then moved players for Edinburgh to Daegu, and it wasn't really like specific to how I wanted Daegu to play, for example. And there was a season that we got relegated when we really shouldn't have. But again, I think that's important. The squad building and the tactics are the kind of main things that you need to get.
I've found so far that it seems, I mean, in this match engine, as I say, I've only just sort of started this last half season. I found that it might be formations that work really well is ones that other managers wouldn't even think to put out, like a 5-4-1. You know, that's been working well. I've had some really good results with it, you know, but then I put out a 4-2-4 and got whooped, you know.
So, 4-2-4 a few seasons ago was wild. I would never play
formation, isn't it?
Never.
If you get it right.
Yeah.
Never even consider it.
We've got
same with 5 at the back. Never play 5 at the back. It's
been working really well with wing backs.
Aye.
Yeah.
Got a question in the chat from Lib23. Would you like to see all Flint leagues switch to the Staff League format? I had a little think about this before, and I guess yes, on one hand, because it gives more utility to because in the Flint leagues, Chris, you can only have players in the Staff Flint leagues. You can only have players up to 54 rated. So all the common players have sort of utility, so they have to be used in those leagues. So no more overpowered leagues. Everybody in theory has sort of, you know, relatively balanced squads. And it does. So I guess from that point of view, yes. The only trouble is then what do you do with the 55, 56 rated players that are too low then for Spark? So I guess my answer would be no, because at the moment you can put Spark players in there, or you can put your team into a Staff League. So Hoodwink, what would you say?
I didn't like so I love the idea of the Staff League, and I love the idea of the utility for the lower players. So I'd like it to continue, something like that, but I didn't think you should be restricted to only being able to do that. And then, you know, what if you get promoted? Then like none of your players they're just the lowest rated in the next division. So you'd need a complete overhaul rather than being able to plan ahead and think, you know, I'll have players for this league, and then, you know, I can be going to the next like Spark or whatever league. Like you can't really plan ahead because you've only got 54 rated guys, unless like you know, like us, we've got tons of players, so you just move them. But if it's meant to be for like people starting and that kind of thing, I think it's pretty. I'd hate to restrict people to just be able to play their level. Same way any league really. Like there's restrictions for like the lowest minimums and stuff like that for to make it a bit fairer in the top leagues. But I don't know. I just didn't like restrictions for that kind of thing. But I love the idea, and I'd like it. I like it being there in some sort of form. But I didn't think across the board it would be.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I agree with you both on that. Because like you said, David, if you got a 55 or 56 rated, then, you know, where can you play them?
Yeah, it was tough, isn't it, at the moment? Unless they do that with Spark as well, but I don't see them doing that. I think at the moment, like having Staff Leagues and standard Flint leagues probably is the best of both worlds. It gives people the opportunity to sort of like go into a Staff League if they're a new user and they just want to play against sort of managers that have very similar teams. Then you could go into that, or you could go into like the main leagues, and you could be up against anything, but then you're not restricted on the players you could bring in as well. But so to finish off my teams anyway, Monkey Fire, So we need to win tonight to potentially go up. If not, we're going to be the playoffs. So just had a look, and then we would be playing against one of Jape's teams who's got a load of 90 rated players. I haven't got any 90 rated players. So, that could be a bit of a ball ache. And it looks like Josh is doing the tactics for it, and Josh is a smart cookie as well. So, that would be a bit of a nightmare. But and also Monkey Magic. I really want to get a team in gold next season. I just couldn't get anything going against Doge Sports Japan team. I've had a decent end to the season generally. I've sort of managed to string some wins together. Finally sort of worked out how I should be playing 4-3-3-D this season, obviously right at the end. So that's a bit annoying. So I've got a game tonight. If I win that game, then I'm in the playoffs. I did have a quick look. Silver 3, so I'll be playing Silver 4-2. So I just need a point tonight anyway. Silver 4, who have we got at the moment? Sitting in second. Oh, bloody hell. Yabor City, one of Big Wilbert's teams, who's had my number this season and for a number of clubs. I think I beat him once in the cup. I think he was in my cup group. And then I rotated second cup game against him. So, so he beat me second time, but I was running few uncommons that time. So, I'd be playing against him, which is a bit of a ball ache. For fuck's sake, he's got a decent squad. Okay, well, that'd be a bit of a nightmare. So I'd like to get into gold next season anyway. As I said, I've got some players. And then my final team is the team that is in gold this season. Didn't have the players to keep them up last season when I was setting teams, although I have done a load of signings this season. So I just minned this team, expecting them to finish bottom. And they have finished bottom. The only surprise is they got one single draw. They got a point against the team. But this squad is like...
Sack the manager.
Sack the manager, cheeky bastard. Look at this. Load of retiring players that I was having to rotate in, and maximum is 84. And I think those two are 84 rated players. In fact, all of these top 3 have all had progression this season. In fact, all of them have at the top. So, I'll just take the money on that team and run. So if you look at Metafixer Lab, then as it stands, I'm on for a record amount of MFL this season. So over 500,000 for the first time ever. I've already spent that in my mind. I think that's probably about $1,000 money equivalent, depending on how you spend it. But I'll be mostly buying rare packs and hoping to get some sort of decent joy out of that. But so decent season, can't complain. 4-3-3-D has not been great this season. I'm hopeful I can get it to work a lot quicker next season. As soon as this season is over, I'll be starting on the experimental engine, running friendlies, trying to work out how to do it, speaking to sort of other guys that play 4-3-3 and try and work out what the best way to go for next season. I will have a couple of teams that are going to be running, will have a left mid, right mid on the team. But I don't think, especially in the high leagues, I think I'll be sticking with 4-3-3-D and YOLO. But it's been a fun season. But how much MFL do you reckon you're getting at the moment, Hoodwink?
I think it was 125k last I checked. But it doesn't take off the delegation club, I didn't think so. Probably 121, 122 maybe.
Nice. So that's a record, isn't it, for you?
I think last season was 99k, which was my highest by a mile. So another.
Have you spent that already in your mind? Do you know what you're getting?
Probably. I think I'll get 2 rare packs this time, and then 2 uncommons and Dead Center for the spare, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be fun. Yeah, no, I can't wait to. I think we're going to do a reward stream, providing everything is all right and they're all out. Then we'll be doing it at 7 or 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Definitely me and Kev at the moment. So we'll have to wait and see who else is able to join us. That's going to be fun, ripping reward packs, and hopefully I'll get some sort of decent players. Like some of the cards I got some of the cards I got this season. Talk about progression. So a quick look. Players. Progression. Current season. So where are we? There was a player, like one of my highest progressors this season. No, not him. Where is he? Not him. I bought him recently, and he's gone up another one already. So I'm hoping he was a bit of a progression beast that I bought recently. Just hoping that he can sort of like continue that for one more season, not chuck up the retirement flag when he turns 28, and become a legendary. But this guy was one of the raw packs. I got him. He was 76 at the start of the season. And like to start off with, like the season, he sort of went up quite a bit. So I'm hoping that he goes up another 4 next season, gets into tier jail, and then. But yeah, no, he's been a fun one. So I can always do with more decent mids. But yeah, how's progression gone for you this season, Hoodwink?
Decent, I think. For the few that are pretty nice, nothing too wild. Better with progression season overall. Best is like +3s, but one of them's like the guy that I got in a reward pack at the start of the season, centre back, 22-year-old. He's a +3 up to 68, which is nice. +4 defending, +3 pace. Very good.
A few of your rares are still moving, ticking along as well. As you said, you got Powell, Chapman, he's +2.
Chapman went up again today. He's the Patron Saints legend until this season. I think is my first season that I've had him. I was saying earlier, I posted in there, actually, in the Discord. I wish he was minted a bit younger because he's actually all his attributes are amazing. I just wish he wasn't 28. The Fatima's got a +2. He's finally been working on his defending and his physical after many months of me moaning about him. Then loads of +2s, and a lot of the youngsters, like when I was checking like my under 23s, quite a few of them are like +2, +3, which is nice as well. Heinrich, my 22-year-old that's got a tier break to 65. A young Irishman he's 41 defending, 50 physical, but he's gone a +2 to 68. He's only 21, can play a couple of positions. That Panic guy, centre back, he's in dev jail. Shame he's like 5'8", but I think he's like +12 or something for his career, and he's only 22. So loads of youngsters kind of moving up like +2s, and then some key guys that have moved up ready to be like really important players, hopefully for next season.
Yeah, no, exactly the same. Like I've got a few guys that have gone up, and a few guys that I've bought in. I've been buying quite a lot over sort of the last few weeks in preparation for hopefully having a gold team next season. But we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, I'm going to have an OP silver team. But it's been fun sort of building them in. I don't know I haven't worked out actually how much progression I've got. I do try and get him. Looks to be, for eyeballed it, about 35-40%, which is probably above average at the moment, because as your players get older, they obviously get less progression. But it's going to be fun next season. Obviously, at the end of the season for Match XP, like most of the best players have sort of maxed out on their stuff. I did loan a few players into Maidstone Mags, who are in with the Vikings, and they have a chance to make the playoffs tonight as well. I was just speaking to them about tactics for their final game. But I loaned them 3 players, maybe more actually, but let's have a look. Progression, current season. Yeah. Burger Smith, +3. He's been a striker that I've just had, I minted him 2 or 3 seasons ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 seasons ago. And he's slowly been sort of grinding his way up. And I don't know why. It's just maybe it's the lack of pace or physical, but he's just never really done it for me. So I've never really had him in on any teams. But maybe I'll have to send him back to Maidstone Mags again next season. Who else did I loan then? There's another one.
I like someone like that. That's they're all right at pace and physical, but they've got high shooting and dribbling. That's like one of my guys that I packed this season. His dribbling's like 80 odd as well, I think. I love him. Like I love dribbling in general for MFL, so it makes sense that I'd like that. But
yeah, come on, clip that. I love dribbling in general, but yeah. progression for Palmer as well. Like he's another guy. Like I don't really play right mids or left mids, but he's sort of got that +1 into TLJ first season, then +3 the last 2 seasons. So he's decent. He's got 90 pace, which is pretty good. Decent physical. His defense is a little bit low, probably for a right mid, but he's a decent player. So he potentially there's another one. Yeah. So he's had a few that I've loaned him, and they've all progressed quite well. And I think the same thing happened last season as well. But yeah, so if you want decent progression, send them to Maidstone Mags for whatever reason.
Godzilla is like, I don't know what he's got. I think he's got the peds at the Godzilla factory, because when I used to loan him loads of players, and every season just be progression after progression. He's got something cooking there.
Yeah, definitely something going on, isn't there? But yeah, no, it's been a decent season for progression. I'm still working on bringing sort of younger players in. But yeah, a few more people have joined the chat. Defang, I did notice you a while ago. Hello, gents. Hello to you, sir. Your player, I was hoping he'd progress again more in my team, and he just didn't progress this season. I don't think he even got one stat increase. Maybe he's tapped out, which is a shame. Spice Weasel, I don't know how you tied me. Which team was that, Spice Weasel?
One where you got 1 point.
I can't remember which team I'm playing against with that one. It'd probably be one of my lower teams, I guess. Oh,
your gold one, I think.
Oh, is it my gold team? Funky Monkey.
Must have robbed them.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not you. I don't know which team it is, but yeah, I don't know. I got a point in this. No, that's what am I talking about? That's the wrong one. It was earlier on in the season. Oh, Texas Prime. Yeah, no, you're right. That's spicy. That is spicy. Yeah. God knows. You was robbed, as they say. But in my keeper had a decent showing. All your defence had a decent showing, which is surprising. But the overalls. But this is football. These things can happen. Oh, I even ran my backups in this game, like my out of position 78. Yeah, that's unlucky.
You did have mere shots on target. Positives.
Oh, if you'd won that, you could have got second as well. I mean, you still can get second, but yeah. But you should be in the playoffs at least, Spice Weasel. You can move on up. Yeah. Right, how long have we been rabbiting on for? Oh, bloody hell, an hour and a half already. But Chris, anything else you wanted to speak about before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. When's pack drop?
When's pack drop? Pack drop is Thursday.
This Thursday, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you find yourself slamming the buy button or?
Yeah, no. Generally, I'll know in advance what I'm going to be buying, and I'll sort of go in there and sort of
Yeah, but it sells out very quick, doesn't it? I know.
This is like the pack drop for rewards. So for MFL, so people spend their MFL on packs. You can't buy these with pure cash. Like on Thursday, the pack drop for cash buys is next Wednesday. Is that right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
are you going to get into them?
Oh, I don't know. I'm undecided.
Could get lucky. I pulled a legendary player who's now 90 or 91 rated out of a limited pack. So $15. And he's still a young lad. He's 90. I don't know how much he's worth, like $800, $900 or something like that. So, yeah.
I don't know if you watched the stream before it, if you've been on anything before it with Jimbo. Because he does a quiz and there's MFL up for grab and duck races and that kind of thing for MFL or packs.
Yeah, I think
and then
mentioned it.
And he's a hype boy, so you'll buy a pack once you watch Jimbo for an hour.
I don't know whether Jimbo, he was in the chat earlier, obviously he's had some problems at his new house that he's just moved into, so he's I haven't checked, but I'm assuming he's moved back in with his folks for a few days. But yeah, I don't know whether he'll have everything set up. I assume he's going to have to lug all of his bloody streaming stuff back over to his parents' house. So hopefully he'll be back up and running for next week. But yeah, obviously, thoughts and prayers to Jimbo's floorboards after they were fucked by a blocked pipe. But yeah, so hopefully it'll be back next week. pretty sure he will do. If not, then we'll have to step into the void. But yeah, there's the When Dirk Packdrop stream, which is probably one of my favourite streams. Before that, there's the Amreezy warm-up show, which is always good. In fact, I think I'm on that show next week, so that's always a good laugh as well. And he gives away a bit of MFL and stuff as well. So they're all worth like watching, see if you can win stuff, because it all helps for like building out your agency when you're starting out. But yeah, there's plenty of people. Like I'm sure I'll have some players I can fire your way as well to get you going.
I think when I'm Reezy tonight, there's Bruce Lee and his missus who plays MFL as well. So that may be fun.
Yeah.
He always talks about it on stream, but
yeah, that's 7 p.m. tonight, isn't it? I was looking forward to In fact, I think I was meant to be on that show, and then Amreezy forgot. Like, maybe he's getting his own back from like all the DMs he sends me, and I completely forget to reply, which like everybody knows I'm bloody useless when it comes to replying to DMs. But maybe he was getting his own back. Anyway, I'm on next week now, the warm-up show for Jimbo. Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah. But anyway, listen, Chris, it's great to have you on MFL. I know that you love your football games. And as you said, you've been playing Football Manager and stuff like that for years. So great to see you again. Great that you're giving MFL a test finally. But, no, it's fun. But
okay.
But and Hoodwink, good to see you as always. We'll be back next week. It's half term, so have you sorted out? Are you going to be on the MFL one? Or are you going to be on the So Rare one next week?
Wednesday's usually easier, I think, but
yeah,
I'll find it. Check with the mother-in-law.
I don't know why
more holidays than Santa.
Get Mark sitting next to you on his calculator. He'll probably he'll be able to give you some wise strategy to improve your MFL performances. But anyway, we'll be back next week. Yeah, we'll be back next week anyway. Maybe a watch along tonight. Don't know yet. I'll have a think about it. But if not, then good luck. Thoughts and prayers to your relegated teams. Come on to your promotion teams. And we'll be back next week. See you later.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.